I want you to talk about Kiki because
so now Kiki comes through the connect with Kina DNG. We do the songs.
So no wait, so DNG comes before now.
Yeah, DNG comes because
tell me about DNG because guys don't understand that DNG was bigger than the Calligraph Jones.
Yeah, DNG was huge.
Like people.
Because it's not the evolution of. Because he was smooth, he was good. At this time now I've started learning because now I'm about 24. It makes it sound so deep, like I'm an ancestor. But remember, I've been doing this from 16.
What?
So now
you're 8 years in the game.
Yeah.
And you're only 24.
I'm only 24. Because I did K-South when I was 22, 23.
Yep.
But that's because everyone around me has always been eons older.
Mm-hmm.
So now when I'm about 24, I do this because of doing a lot of gospel, like because I did Gospel Fathers, we go to the gospel circuit, they did shows, they're traveling in and around, the celebrities.
Yes.
A guy calls me up, he said it's called DNG, he wants the same thing that I did, a recording. I told him the same thing, pay for me one song, then we see what happens.
DNG with his hustler mentality pays pop.
Pays pop, Nini, we do the song. What was that song called? Yes. Yeah, then it blows up, but then I decided to do a remix, like, because I liked Pharrell. I do like a Pharrell type, that sound he had at that time.
DNG, wape, yo, twende kasi.
Kweli Mungu ananipenda, alinisamehe yote niliyotenda. Usiseme kwamba huwezi kuokoka, kama niliweza wewe usamehe. Kweli Mungu ananipenda, alinisamehe yote niliyotenda. Usiseme kwamba huwezi kuokoka, kama niliweza wewe usamehe.
Raundi hii naambia Mwenyezi Mungu, namtukuza, namshukuru. Every single day I'm gonna sing for my Jesus. I'm gonna make it known that I'm a new believer. Yes, yo, bado sijamaliza. Brother, tafadhali sikiliza. Mimi sasa niko hapa kutangaza kwamba mshifa nimeona.
Now that's a song that I decided to nominate because at that time I'd learned of a thing called Kora through Suzanne. She'd always tell me apply, join. So I do everything, package the CD, because you needed to have a compilation album. I needed to have an album, but the loophole was I get other gay songs, I mislabel them, but then I say the song that I'm nominating is track number 3. So they won't even listen to those other jams.
Yeah.
So I get a Kayamba song, I package it as an album, send it. That's how we got the first Kora nomination, 2004.
You're the one who did everything.
I did everything, sent it, I even paid for DHL.
What? I'm a Kora Award nominee, so I understand what it takes.
I did everything. But you see, at that time,
it's all good.
It's all good, Nini. That's not the first time I'd say 2004 is when my dad realized this thing is serious. Because me and my dad were not getting along because my hard-headedness had bored him to death. I think also, like just life wasn't working out, so he was upset. Like we were always. So I remember 2004, now deck. November, I tell him I'm going to SA tomorrow. You know how scary that is when your child tells you that? He's like, visa? I went to the SA High Commission and did it myself. With what money? Mine. Have you applied? Yes. You have a ticket? Yes. How are you going to the airport? Cab. My dad just froze. Like, you're just thinking, remember the story of Censored where I tried to run away when I was 16. Yeah. So he's like, shit, man. So he asked me, are you sure? My mom at that time is gone to the US. Like, are you sure? I'm like, yes. What are you going to do? I'll be nominated. For what? Like, I was just an asshole. Fought for a music thing. Because he never used to take it seriously. Like, to do what? Like, it's a music competition. They say my songs are good. Where are you going to stay? In a hotel. Like, it's those things you're just being
hard-headed because to show I've made it. You didn't believe in me.
And then now I'm like, if I may be so afraid now, if my Toy came and told me, my son is 8, he came and told me I am going to Westlands. How? In a matatu. Or in an Uber, how? I've called it. Can I see? Yes, it is here. Like, it's the same thing.
How are you paying?
I have
my business for selling.
Yes, it's the same thing. It's like my toy telling me right now he's going to ST for a meeting and he's called a Taxify. And then everything checks out.
So you went with DNG to South Africa?
Yeah, and with DNG and his mom, and we get this thing. But then that year, 2004, is when I decide. 2004 is where everything now changed. Because 2003 we did the thing with Eric, with K South. The album came out, but I was cut out of now Joy. Joy is where you get paid either from performances. They go to the Netherlands. Guys are just wilding out. Kina Suzanne also go, but the guy who did everything
doesn't go.
But then because of doing that record and also doing 2 songs on Mercy's album that also came out, so I also did Mercy's album.
What songs did you almost sing?
It's a song called Sauti and Soul Satisfaction.
We lost our sense of caution. Spoke words that weren't kind. Our emotions engendered. Every rule and mind. I'm accusing you, you're accusing me. We're a vicious cycle, we both can't see. No logical conclusion.
Those 2 songs, I wrote lyrics and produced. So I literally write for you the song and you come and sing it back. So from Soul Satisfaction, Eric calls me, he's like, and then now you see on that album, everyone knows Tiadero, done by Aaron and Julian. Right? Everyone knows like the Cherry was done by Aaron and Julian, so everyone knows. So even me, like my song didn't become the single, so it sucks. So me, I'm just chilling. There's a musical at the time going on called Luanda Magere. Like it was just now, it was just sex. It was dope. Like Eric is like he's called all the who's musician. We hear he's come back from Berkeley. He's just glowing. He's like Saint Jesus, Saint Eric. And I'm like, man, I want to be called because I'm too proud to go look for a job. But what would I do? I play keys, but I don't want to play in a band. Maybe I can help because they were doing this thing with Paul Oyer. Now Paul Oyer has built this successful play company. At the time it was successful, called Sterling Q. So they're doing plays. They have done all these other plays. Now the big one they've done Serafina. Now so the next one is a collaboration between Sterling Q and Eric Wenena, Luanda Magere, the Man of Stone. My sister has already been cast as the lead. Goyo Dera. Like it was just the who's who. Yeah. I'm just like seated in the studio with depression. So this is 2003, end of 2003 to 2004. I've done 2 big records, like the biggest mainstream records at the time. Like I've done K South. Okay, Kina Isa were there, but surely come on. Isa, K South. Tuseme ukweli. Tuseme ukweli.
Isa.
No.
Okay,
so, and then I've done the Gospel Fathers. So I start getting depressed because I'm like, imagine getting caught a life crisis when you're 22, 23. I'm like, this thing is not working out for me. I've done both mainstream, I've been shafted. I've done gospel with the kind of gospel fathers, but it's a label. Yes, I own the masters, but what I didn't know at the time is the bread and butter comes from performances, right? I had not sorted that out. So how do I, and that's now where Ogopa beat everyone else. Ogopa, now for me, I had to now sit back and look at how Ogopa were doing their label, because they got their money primarily from performances. And performances now means you need to have another whole squad of guys who go out and look for the gigs, who make brands and people know what you're doing. So for me, it was a bit of folly, like it was a learning point.
Yeah.
You can't just say you're a label. A label is not making CDs. Mm-hmm. It's making sure the product is in the market, but then also
that's
people,
where River Road kicks in.
Yeah, that's true. You're able to do distribution, product, but also enforcement. So if an artist goes and performs without informing you, you have guys out there who will squeeze their blessings.
Because literally...
Because like Ogopa had a system, man. Hey, say what you want. He's a legend. Please interview Lucas. And Lucas, please come on. You have to do one interview once.
I know. My plan is...
Dude, I've worked with Lucas for a Kora award-winning video and I don't know. Like we met once. I can't even, like I've even forgotten how he looks. Because of how he's mysterious. Maybe one day when the footage is shown, maybe I met with myself. For Neema, okay, 2004.
We're going to come to
2004.
But we're still in 2003.
And then that's
he's the one who did Jiwe.
Yeah!
Lucas he was shooting videos then.
Yeah!
That guy was ahead of
And now you see, for me, that's how I was like, I always try to align myself with guys. Because I called him on the phone. Anyway, we'll get to that. So 2003, 2004, I'm kind of depressed about this thing. I'm not sure. The tunes is there in advertising, but I'm not sure I want to be at Samawati anymore. Two things happen. Eric calls me and tells me, I've had... no, actually what happens, end of 2003, that's now another milestone that happened. I've done this record with Sauti, with
Gospel Fathers.
With Gospel Fathers.
K South.
K South. So like everyone now knows this guy knows his shit. As a writer, producer, arranger, everything.
Me, I even wanted to be signed by Timo. But let's go on anyway.
But I've just frustrated you. Then, Victor Say calls me. I'm like, yo, and at the time, Mofire is happening. Eric's musical, Luanda is happening. So, Victor is like, you've done these 2 records. I want you to, I'm doing this thing for Safaricom. It's called Well Seasoned. It's a Christmas album.
Yes.
And so now from that's now Yani. Victor is like, I want you to co-produce and write with me. It's 10 tracks. He told me about this thing. It's like, it needs to be out by Christmas. And I'm like, Victor is just full of bullshit. He comes, like, yeah, Michael Joseph has agreed, we start.
What?
But then, in typical Victor fashion, this thing started 3 weeks before Christmas. So we're doing 18-hour days. And what Victor is doing, because he knows everyone, a lot of the guys working on Eric's musical, Luanda Magere, which no one has called me for, I was not called to do sound or whatever, is coming from there at night, like the session musicians. My bro, that's why I met Atemi now properly, because I'd met her before as DJ's manager.
Yeah.
A lot of the musicians, Junga Shui, like everyone who was hot.
You had met Atemi as DJ's manager?
Yes, she was managing DJ. The first time I met her, she's like, hi, what do you want to talk to my artist? That's why I met Atemi.
Even Kanji was on that album?
Yes, so now all these guys who have now Kanji and Eric have come from America, Wakona Outer Glow, yeah. Aglibs, America. So we do, so this thing was meant to have been done in 2 months. Victor decides him and I can do it in 2 weeks, 10 working days.
What?
I got sick, dude.
Because of not sleeping?
Yeah, because we were doing 18 to 20 hour working days, eating junk food and at least 6 to 8 Red Bulls a day.
So when you say you got sick, what happened?
After the thing ended, because you see my body has been functioning on Red Bull.
Yes.
Red Bull and junk food. So immediately gave Victor the master like this. See, Victor went to SA to master it,
Yes.
to mass produce it. Me, I went home to take a nap. But you see, my body has had high levels of caffeine and sugar.
For 2 weeks straight.
For 2 weeks straight, 8 cans of nini. So I go into relapse, like a full junkie. Shaking, nini.
What?
Red Bull is a hell of a drug. It's not good for you. But then, so Hosi, rushing to Hosi. And then at this time, my mom is in the US. My dad, I think, is in Rwanda. Or something like that. So nikajipeleka hospitali. Called a cab. Took myself to Hosi. Drip. They're testing for anything because those are all symptoms because they can tell it's a relapse. Fever, nini, whatever.
Those are drugs.
Those are drugs, you're relapsing. So they do their test, they're like, okay, you don't have veins, your nose is fine. What have you doing? The guy's like, dude, how much Red Bull, like your glucose levels are so high. Like it's like you fell into a vat of glucose. What have you been doing? The guy tells. So this is like, we've done this album with Victor, it's dope. Victor's in SA, living the life, mastering it. I'm in the hospital.
So how did that change your life?
How that changed my life is 1, I got a big check from Victor. 2, I learned how to negotiate. 3, I learned now work-life balance. You can die, dude. And then now more networks, because I nearly died because of that thing. I took myself to OC, the guy was like, Maji for...
And this time you're 20?
This is 2003, December, I'm 22.
What? Dude, at 22, you were relapsing because of literally overworking. That's how much grind you're putting in. I mean, I hear that the negative side of the, but the kind of work ethic that you're putting in was that crazy. Because I'm trying to say that because I don't feel like some of the millennials this time, they expect things to just follow.
I talk
the
to
place.
artists nowadays, I'm like,
You don't understand the grind that.
I have to rewind and tell you something that's going to affect a future conversation that we'll have. You asked me who I met in Rough Cuts. I met a guy called Moses Nderito, I told you, who ended up opening a huge video production company called Level 1. And then I also met a guy who had come from Australia, who was like a chemist, pharmacist guy called Mike Strano.
Facts.
Ule wa fat. Yeah. Like that's I met him at in 2001. Yes.
Yeah.
So back to Nini.
Yeah.
So because of working on Well Seasoned, like everyone seems to like it. It's a good project. Victor gets his shine. Blah, 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 again.
Nobody knows. You know, now is when I'm beginning to know that you're also in Well Seasoned.
Yeah. But then again, I was not like it was known as a Victor project. Team was nowhere again.
What?
So
that
now,
is crazy. I bought this album. I'm talking about
the red one, yeah.
Yes.
Well Seasoned.
I bought another copy again in deck.
Yeah, the first one.
That is crazy.
So that's why I met Temi. I met a lot of good people through that, and now I met Eric. So now come 2004, like February, I'm like now jaded at Samawati. I've been there for 2.5 years. I'm like, will ever go to school? You know, all those things for quarter life. Okay, it's quarter life at 23 now. I'm like, so Eric is like, he had the work I done on Well Seasoned, and then Mercy's. He really liked the Mercy album. Then actually what sealed the deal was now 2004 February, a friend of mine from Lavington, from Nairobi Baptist, ended up working at Homeboys. It's called CK.